Well, the truth is that I had gone to Vince from the first day I joined the company, within the first few weeks of being in the company, to Vince and tell him about that I'd like, he should think about trying to do these ladder matches. Then I told him the concept, and they never had any interest. And I'd come about a year later, I'd say, you know, there's something they should really think about is these ladder matches. They'd be really great. And I explained the whole thing, the concept to them again, and they'd always... And then I got where it's like, you know, I would go to Vince and I'd say, I got this idea, but I don't. You got to promise me you won't do it with anyone else but me. And he said, what is it? And I'd say, it's this ladder match. And I'd tell him the whole idea again. And that'd be going on for, I don't know, what's that, 8 years or so.
Yeah.
And the way it all happened was that Duggan and Perfect were doing the commentary in those days, and they both pulled me aside and said, we got the news today that SummerSlam's going to be it's going to either be in Wembley Stadium or it's going to be in Washington, D.C. at the Cap Center. And so when I won the belt from Piper, I had been told that it was in all likelihood I would probably drop the belt at SummerSlam to somebody. It wasn't said for sure who. And so I thought, okay, so I'm dropping the belt at SummerSlam. Good chance. If it's in Wembley Stadium in England, it's got to be Davey. I could drop it to Davey. It would work. That would be that would make sense and would work. It would, you know, that would be. Davey was over pretty strong in England, so it would be a natural matchup. But then I thought, well, but if it's in Washington, D.C., the Davies card isn't necessary to play so much now because of the England thing. But it was like I thought. And they had told me they thought I'd be working with Sean at SummerSlam. And it was like, if I got to drop the belt to somebody, why don't I try to get them to do the ladder match again? And I'll do the ladder match. And I went to Vince and I said, if I said, I walked in Maine or wherever it was that we filmed that. I said, I heard two things. That it's either going to be Wembley or Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And I told him both ideas. I said, but if it's in Washington, D.C., let me do a ladder match with Sean. And I guess he was maybe having to make this decision right in the next day or two, so I was right on that. He goes, show it to me. Show me the match. And I go, with who? He goes, just pick anybody. Pick Sean. I said, well, I'll pick Sean. So I pick Sean. I go find Sean, and I say, Sean, I got this idea. And I tell him the whole idea, and we're going to do a ladder match. I said, I just got to show Vince the concept. And Sean was very confused as to what it was. So what do I do?
Right.
And this is what you got to do, and you got to keep trying to climb the ladder. And I keep telling him what happened. So we go out and do this, just a demonstration match. That's all it is. It's just.
Is this the match that's on Wrestling Challenge?
This is the match. That's the only match that we ever did in a ladder, and they kept it and they air it today. It was just a throw. I wrestled 3 times that day. It was like I just wanted to demonstrate with it. There was no real. We weren't trying to make it the ladder match at WrestleMania 10. We were just trying to make it a ladder match. And it's always bothered me that they stole the idea. Sean knew then, here's my idea. So and they stole my idea. They didn't ask me if they could use the idea. They stole my idea, and it was already in print before I ever knew that. But it bothered me because the truth is I would love to have wrestled my brother Owen in a ladder match at SummerSlam instead of the cage. The cage was. I would love to have done a cage with somebody, but it didn't have to be Owen. It could have been. I could have had a great ladder match. It just always bothered me. And Vince always promised me that he'd never do it with anyone else, but they stole that idea from me, and it was the idea that was great. I mean, I always hear about Razor and Sean having this great match at WrestleMania. I go, well, it's great, but they ripped off the idea from me, and it's the idea that's great, not the match.